Welcome to the submodule Buyer Marketing of Module 4. In this module, we are going to discuss how to find where the buyers are at and how to find them online. I'm going to tell you a secret about finding buyers, and here goes that secret. It's typically much easier for you to find buyers than it is for you to find sellers. So, who is a cash buyer? Cash buyers are going to be landlords who are looking for more properties to buy so that they can rent out. It's also going to include rehabbers, who are investors, who are looking for homes that they can fix up and then flip. And then it's also going to be private homeowners who are just looking for a good place for their families to live at, and they're just looking for good, cheap homes. When you're doing marketing to find cash buyers, there's many different ways that you can do it. One deal that you can do is you can go to your local RIA or your local real estate investing meetings or tax auctions, and you can network with the buyers who are out there because they're always looking for more properties that they can get for good deals. Two, you can get a property under contract from a motivated seller, and then you put bandit signs out there or Craigslist ads selling that property, and you're gonna be able to find cash buyers that way. That's one popular way that I always promote to my students that will always get you more buyers. Matter of fact, every time you get a property under contract and you put out marketing, you're typically gonna get about 10 to 15 more cash buyers who call you about that property. The third way that you can do to find cash buyers and build up your cash buyers list is that you can put out a phantom property out there and put out bandit signs or Craigslist ads selling it. Now, let me go back to this notion that I put out there about why it's easier to find buyers than it is sellers. It's easier to find buyers than sellers because once you have a good deal in place, there's going to be tons and tons of buyers who want the deal. I mean, if you think about it, if you're an investor who's looking to buy, let's say, homes in the $100,000 price range, and some Joe off the street says, hey, I have a house which is worth $100,000 and I'm only going to sell it to you for $60,000, you're going to jump on that deal. You know, it's not going to take any special salesmanship or arm twisting to get you to buy that house. I mean, it's at a great deal. So that's why, you know, if you have a great deal from a motivated seller, it's not very hard to find a buyer. So matter of fact, when you put out your marketing, you're going to find that to be true. So I want to go ahead right now in this video lesson and reveal some of the best spots that I found in the past that enabled me and my students to locate cash buyers. When you're looking to implement your ground attack, and by ground attack I mean hitting the streets and doing your ground marketing such as bandit signs, one of my favorite tools to use is listsource.com, because listsource.com will actually tell you where the best places to go to. You know, it will actually tell you, hey, this is the areas where cash buyers are buying properties in. And you can also use listsource.com to do your research and find out what zip codes recent cash buyers and investors have bought properties in. And this is very important because if you can locate what areas that they have bought properties in, then you, number one, know what areas to market to find sellers. And number two, when you get deals on a contract, you can go to listsource.com, which is a free tool to sign up for. And let's say you get a house under contract in 90210 in that zip code, then you just go to listsource.com and you find what cash buyers have bought properties in the past few months in the zip code 90210, and it will tell you their names, it will tell you their addresses, and so you can easily contact them and say, hey, I have a good deal in the same zip code where you bought 2 or 3 other properties at. You know, it's very simple to do. And again, you know, once you find out this information from listsource.com, you can pretty much just focus all your marketing attention to the zip codes where you are finding that the cash buyers are buying at. And also, once you start putting homes under contract with motivated sellers, what you're going to do is you can just simply just mail a yellow letter out to the cash buyers in these zip codes. You know, just again telling them, hey, I noticed that you bought a house over here 3 months ago. You bought one or two properties over here. I have another house that's like right down the street from it. You know, are you interested in buying more? And I mean, it's that simple. So now that we've gone over a couple of the things concerning why you should use ListSource to find cash buyers, let's go ahead and see the steps which you need to take to implement it. I'm going to show you a real quick way on how you can gather up all the zip codes of your city, and then how you plug it in into ListSource to find out what exact zip codes your cash buyers are buying in. So give me 1 second and we will go online. Okay, so we are here on good old google.com, one of my favorite tools to use. And basically what we're wanting to do is we want to know what zip codes in our city cash buyers are currently buying in. So what we want to do, step one, is we want to actually compile a list of all the zip codes in our city. So what you can do is you can just put zip codes, and then you can put in the name of your city and then state. So in this example, we're going to look up zip codes in Omaha, Nebraska, which is a city which I grew up in. So let's do a zip code search on Google. And one of the best places that I like to go to is one of these places right here. City-data.com usually has the zip codes put in a good format, so it's easy for you to copy and paste. And so you see what it does is it gives you a zip code map of the city, and it actually tells you what all the zip codes are. You see, it gives it to you right here. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and copy and paste all these zip codes right here, and then we'll open up our trusty notepad and we will paste all the information there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in individually and just put all the zip codes on their own line, because what we're going to do is we're going to put all these tools into ListSource, and one by one we're going to enter all these zip codes in, and we're going to see how many cash buyers have recently bought properties in each one of these zip codes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause these videos while I am entering in this information, and I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, that was a quick second. So what I have done is I have all the zip codes in Omaha, Nebraska, and I've entered them all onto their own separate line. And so now I'm ready to take this list of zip codes and go into listsource.com, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to research how many cash buyers bought property in each one of these zip codes. And then what I'm going to do with this list is I'll be able to tell what zip codes had a whole bunch of cash buyers and what zip codes had very little to no cash buyers in it. And what I'm going to do is in the zip codes where there's a bunch of cash buyers, I'm going to target most of my marketing in those zip codes, you know. So let's go ahead and go to ListSource. And if you don't know how to set up a ListSource account, then just go to one of the previous videos, actually on the seller marketing tab, and it'll show you how to set one up. But I mean, it's simple. You just click on this register now button and it'll set you up with a username and a password. So go ahead and set up listsource.com right now if you haven't done so already. And real quick before I show you ListSource and how you use it, let's just go ahead and go through this quick checklist on using ListSource. Number one, you're going to go ahead and sign up for a free ListSource account, which hopefully you already did. And then number two, and 3 and 4, these are going to be the different variables which you're going to search for on listsource.com in order to see which people are the prospective cash buyers. So you're going to go into geography and look up zip codes, and then mortgage origination dates. You're going to look for people who bought in the past 6 months to a year. And property types, you're going to look for people who bought duplexes and fourplexes and single family residences and triplexes. So back to the website. What we're going to go to first is create your own right here. So you click on that. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go into geography, which we already are in, and we're going to go to city, and then so we're going to need to select our state first. So we're going to go to Nebraska. We're going to pick Omaha, Nebraska, wherever that's at, right here. Okay, and we're going to add that to our list. And so right here we have 152,000 plus records so far. We're going to go up here to property and select that, and we are going to get out of there. Okay, we are going to go to last market sales date. So you remember that, last market sales date. And what we're going to look for is we're going to look for people who have bought in the last 6 months to the last year. So you can select either one of these right here, but just depending on how many records you get, if you look in here and let's say you do last 6 months and you only get, like, let's say 50 records, then you definitely want to have more names than that. So go ahead and go to last 12 months. But if you do, let's say, last 12 months and you get like 5,000 buyers, then you probably want to go ahead and minimize the list so you don't have so many records that you're looking at. So for our example, let's just go ahead and do last 6 months and check that box or that dial, whatever it's called, and add that. And then we're going to see the leads decrease from 152 to 1,200 leads right there. So we have 1,200 leads, and I don't think that's going to be enough records for us to work with when we put in all the other variables. But let's see. Let's see. And so what we're going to do is we're looking for people who are absentee owners, because the theory that we're going by is that if somebody is an absentee owner, meaning that they don't live in the property which they just bought, and they bought within the past 6 months to a year, that person is typically going to be an investor or a cash buyer. You see, because why would they purchase a property and not live in it? The reason why most people are buying properties in the past 4, 5, 6, 7 months and they're not living there, the reason why most of them are doing it that way is because they're buying it as investment properties. You see? So yeah, some of them may be buying it as a second home, but we're willing to bet that over 90% of those people that bought properties are buying them as investment properties. And so what that says is if they're buying investment properties, they're probably looking for more investment properties in that same area. You see? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the owner occupied status, and we're going to select absentee owned. And that's definitely going to decrease our number. Let's see what it decreases it to. So as you can see, it decreased it to 93, which is pretty small number. So let's go ahead and go to property real quick, and let's see. Let's go to property type on here. Okay. Basically, we want to select single family residence, duplex, triplex, and quad, because we don't want to deal with people who have bought, apartment buildings or commercial buildings, like the big sky-rise buildings. We are only looking for people who are wanting to buy single family residences and triplexes and duplexes and, the easy stuff. So let's go ahead and take some of those other buyers off of there. So let's see what our 93 leads go to. So you see right there, it went down to 29 leads right there. So Omaha really isn't a city that's full of a bunch of cash buyers. So let's go ahead and go back to last sales date. And let's go ahead and remove this, the 6 months. And we're going to go put last 12 months in there and see how many cash buyers it gives us. Okay, so right there, we have 115 people who are absentee owners who purchased in the past year. They either purchased a single family residence, duplex, triplex, or fourplex within the city of Omaha. And what we can do is we can go back into geography, and we can go to zip code and puts in Nebraska, and we can just plug in our zip codes one by one and see what we get. Actually, we're going to need to put it in this box down here. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and X this out, X Omaha out, because we don't want it bringing up the values for the whole city. So let's wait for it to process and get done. And I'm actually going to pause this video. Okay, we're back. So we're going to put these zip codes in here one by one, and we just want to see what the count is. So right here is a count of 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and put 0. And so if we go to 68102, we'll put that in here and add it and see what this number goes to when it's done loading up. 0. Okay, and then we'll put in 68103, add that, and see what numbers we get. 0. Alright, 68104. Let's see how many we get there. Alright, we got 12. So we have 12 in 68104. And so we put 68105 in there. And so we're at a count of 12. And it rose it up to 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 right here, because 68104 has 12 and 68105 had 1. And so that equals the 13. And so let's put in 68106 and see what this 13 changes to. Wait for it to load up. Alright, and it goes to 17. So you just do the difference between 17 and 13, which is 4. So there's 4. And then you do 68107 and wait to see how many come up for 68107. Alright, so it went from 17 to 21, which is a difference of 4. So there's 4 homes purchased in 68107. Pop in 68108. And let's see what the difference is from 21. Alright, so it went from 21 to 25, which is a 5 number. It's a 5 lead difference, so we're going to put 5 right here. And we're going to put in 68109 and see what the difference is. Alright, no difference, so it stayed at 26. So basically, what you're doing is you're just going through all these zip codes, and you're just going to get the total number which is in each of these zip codes. And what you'll find is as you go through each zip code, you'll be able to see that there's some zip codes which have no cash buyers whatsoever, and then you'll have some zip codes which have 12 or 4 or 5 or whatever. And let me tell you this, that there's some zip codes which you'll search, depending on what city you're in, where you'll find literally hundreds of people bought within the past 6 months in a particular zip code. Like out here in places like Las Vegas, or places like Charlotte, North Carolina, or Houston, Texas, or Phoenix, Arizona, you'll pop in zip codes and you'll see that there's been 315 cash buyers in the past 6 months in a particular zip code. And so what you'll be able to do is, once you know these numbers, you'll know exactly where to focus your marketing at. And what I do is I like to take it a step further. I like to go to the zip code map. That's on citydata.com, and I like to just group all the zip codes together and see what areas are the best areas. So like if I notice that 68104, which had 12 buyers, is next to, let's say, 68134, which has, let's say, 30 buyers, then I'll say, okay, well, let me just target this area right here because they're connected to each other, and then I'll just focus on targeting all these major intersections which are right here, and then I'll work on targeting the exits of the interstates, and I'll just let this be my marketing ground right here. In the rest of the city, I'll just forget about it because it's not really worth my time. If there's 0 buyers here and 1 buyer here and 2 buyers here, I'm not going to waste my time marketing in this big old huge geographic area. I'm going to focus my time right here because this is where all the buyers are buying at. You see what I'm saying? So that, in a nutshell, is how you use ListSource to find out where recent cash buyers have bought in their properties at. And I want to go ahead and make a correction on my PowerPoint notes. This is actually incorrect. What you're going to want to do is go to property and then last market sales date for the past 6 months to a year. So I'll repeat that. You want to go to property section of ListSource and then go to last market sales date and do that for the past 6 months to a year. And underneath the options, you always want to make sure that the absentee owned box is clicked, and checked, and that both mailing and property addresses are complete. And if you're just doing research to see where cash buyers are buying at, you don't need to buy a list. All you need to do is know the numbers of how many people bought in each particular zip code, and then once you do get a property under contract, you can just simply go in there and buy the list for the particular zip code that you're looking for, and then you just mail them yellow letters saying, hey, I have a I have a house under contract which you may want to get. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty much that easy. So homework is to go ahead and sign up for a free account with listsource.com if you don't have one already. And then the second thing you want to do is go ahead and determine what areas and zip codes that you want to target. And I do recommend that you do focus on the middle to lower income areas. So even if you do have, let's say, a bunch of buyers in, let's say, a very, very wealthy and well-to-do zip code, it's probably not going to really happen very much, but it may. I would not target those areas. I would target just middle income to lower income areas, which show that there's a lot of buyer activity in those areas. So anyways, this is Daniel Wiafi. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's any questions, just feel free to ask me or put it on the website and I'll answer all your questions. But anyways, I will see you on the next lesson.